Welcome all to Chasing Tents. My name is Abby. Thank you very much for joining me, guys, to this new episode from a lovely, scenic and very noisy Oulton Park circuit in Cheshire. I'm here with Team J.A.S Racing, who are competing in the NoLimits Endurance Championship. I'm documenting their whole season, race by race, and this time we've got riders Jamie Harris, Steve Ward and Andy Ashcroft on their amazing Kawasaki ZX-10R. Talking about bikes, sadly, Steve Ward had a massive engine blowout in the practice day, and sadly he's on his rain bike, which is a second bike. He had to go home, get another bike, complete chaos. But let's start this race on a positive note. There's people always come behind. Let's start this race on a positive note. I've always got people in the back of the camera making faces so they can make me laugh. Anyway, so let's start this race on a positive note, because last time when we were at Anglesey, we were winning for 95% of the race, and then we crashed, and that podium, or the podium of Anglesey, was just in our grasp, and then when we crashed 20 seconds before checkered flag, and we were nowhere. And that wound we still carry, but let's hope this race is better, and at least we can get a podium here, because the team totally deserves it, because the team is fast, the team has got consistency, and let's hope we have a good race. I will take you through this whole race, but let me show you some parts of this iconic Oulton Park circuit and also the track and paddock ambience.
The great post-war rejuvenation of interest in motor racing has led to the birth of a succession of new circuits in Britain. At Oulton Park in Cheshire,
Okay, welcome back, guys. You've got to excuse the noise in the background because other races are still going on. We are about to go on the track in about 5 minutes. I thought I will show you. Hello, are you all right? Hello, Carson. How are you doing? Very well. All right, I thought I'll come here and show you. First of all, the paddock is absolutely jam-packed, like every single time, and I've got the loudspeaker right there, so you got to excuse all the background noise. Okay, so we got to excuse the bicycles. I don't know whose bicycles are these, and is that a squishy duck? Chicken. I don't know whose is that. They probably use that as a horn. Anyways, so that is our bike, which I mentioned to you in the introduction of this video. Obviously, during the practice day, this completely went kaput. And all the bits, I mean, look at that is covered in oil. I'm covered in oil now. And inside that, there are bits of broken crank, broken all sorts of things. It was a huge blowout of our bike during practice, and it only managed 4 laps. To be honest, Steve, who's the rider of this bike, he already knew at Anglesey the bike was losing power, but then his battery was also 4 volts, if you remember the last race. So we thought it's something to do with the battery. He didn't realize it's got something to do with the bike, sadly, and as soon as he took his bike out to Oulton, 3rd lap, and it went absolutely bang. So what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to now take you straight to the start of the race. Well, welcome back everyone. I found myself a prime spot, a little bit unauthorized, so I'm sorry NoLimits and MSV, because I'm on the top of the podium. So that's the podium down there, and this is the British Superbike podium, and I'm on top of it to get a really good shot of everyone starting. We are on the back of the grid, obviously, as you know, because we had a bike blown during the practice day. Engine went in pieces. I will show you a bit more of that in a bit. Engine just absolutely blew on proper throttle. So we are right we qualified 6th in class, but we are right at the back of the grid. And this is the start of the race from a really good angle. The thing is, as you know, if you've been following this racing season with J.A.S racing already, that you cannot stand on the pit gantries. You have to stay well back, well behind that line, and I cannot film anything from there. So the best way to do it is from here. And as soon as I filmed it, I'm going to disappear because I don't want to be told off. Here we are. Oh, if you can hear a bike revving in the background, that's that dyno there. They are dynoing a bike. So in some categories, bikes are dynoed before their race. Here we go. Union flag up, down. Everyone go, go, go. Absolutely perfect, that. No issues. I better get down now before I get told off. This, by the way, if you don't know, this is the race tower. They monitor everything from here, all the CCTV, the commentary and everything. An eerie silence kind of creeps into the paddock as soon as everyone leaves. Oh, there's a nice Lamborghini Aventador there, because everyone wants the team to at least do the first few laps without an incident. Oh my God, there's a guy getting pushed in. The bike didn't start, so you got to run to your bike and you actually have to start the bike. His bike probably didn't start, so here we go. All these people are going to go back to the garage, just like me, and I'll show you where we stand straight away. Okay guys, first pit stop is about to happen. Actually, I'm just going to turn the camera on Jamie's bike while we're at it. We've got it on, perfect. Okay, so we are in a fantastic position. So we started dead last, which is 10th in class, and we went all the way up to P2. Now we're running consistently at P3, and Andy's doing 1 minute 46.5. Last to last was 146.8, and last one was 147.3. I mean, that's decent pace, and he's been going for nearly 26 minutes. So he's doing really well. He was quick straight out of the box, and we overtook. I mean, it's a busy grid today in terms of club racing, and we were plumb P10, and we overtook all of these guys, and we're sitting at P3. P1 is, I think, Track Slags racing with Baz, doing a really good job. I mean, his best was a 146.1. And we are P3. P2 is Send It Racing, and they've done a 145.7, which is epic. So they're doing really well as well. You know what? I tell you something. This is very tight today. The competition is very, very, very strong. What have we got now? 147 again. So I think it's time for Andy to come in for a pit stop. We've got Jamie going out, and Steve is going to be the third rider. We've got a bit of a busy garage this time because we've got a national team next to us, and this is a special team because if you know Chris Walker, who is the ex-British superbike racer, he is racing in the JJ Racing with Lodge Brothers. So we've got some big stars as always in our championship, and Andy is going to come in any minute, and I'll show you the whole pit stop. Now in this race, from the start of the pit lane to the end of the pit lane is 31.9 seconds. So if you are quicker than that, so if you come out before 31.9 seconds, they will multiply that time by 5. Oh my God, we got safety car is out. Now in 2022 we were lucky enough to do an 8-hour race, 8 hours from 12 noon to 8 in the evening, and we did not have a single safety car, we did not have a single red flag, and now we've got a 3-hour race and we've got a safety car in the first 30 minutes. In a way it's a good thing. It gives our rider Andy a little bit of rest because he's already been out for 25 minutes. So yeah, it is a very interesting time at the moment. There we go, we got the father-son team, Carson and Jamie, looking at proceedings. Still P3 in class. This is very interesting. Hopefully you enjoyed the onboard footage from Andy earlier. He's been doing some decent laps, and because it's a safety car now, I will see you when Andy comes in next. Jamie stops for a while, and then as soon as it clicks to 15 seconds, it's go, go, go. Oh, nearly ran over Nicky Williams. Amazing session by Andy, absolutely brilliant, and he's checking his best lap time, but we know exactly what his best lap time is. I think it's 146.5, yep, spot on. And we were P1 in class So we went up to P1. So P2 and P1 must have had their pit stops, might have been slow or whatever, I don't know. But we are now running P1 with Jamie Harris, because that's a transponder named on his name. And yeah, so if you was wondering why Jamie was stopped here for about 15 seconds, as I explained earlier, rider comes in. If the rider comes in and we do a swift rider change and the rider goes out, that will be somewhere around, I don't know, 20 odd seconds. So when Jamie comes in, he stops for around 12 to 15 seconds. That gives a bit of time for that roughly 32 seconds coming in, coming out. If you go out quicker than that, then they multiply every second by 5. So that's a big penalty, and some people have had that penalty in previous races. So let me show you some onboard footage from Jamie now, and I'll come back in a bit. Well, I was a little bit late filming that pit stop from our team. That was our second pit stop with P2. Fantastic. P2. We're still. So as Steve Ward goes out, who doesn't have a camera, so I cannot show you any onboard footage, but we are now sitting handsomely in P2.